Gary Daly at House Quest Realty again. It's a beautiful Memorial Day weekend in Chicago. We're in Lincoln Park, and today we decided to talk about honest services. As a lot of people have read or saw in the paper or heard on the radio, they're doing the commission change from the lawsuit in July, and I thought it was a tad bogus myself because we for years have offered sliding scale commission based on level of services. But I guess with the lawsuit, they were saying they weren't offered any difference, just this is the commission and that's it. So a lot of sellers that I've been talking to are like, well, when July comes along, if they're going to list, I can save money because I'll make the buyer's agent pay the commission. I've explained to them, and I'll explain on this video, it's a very bad idea, in my opinion, for several reasons. So, main reason, a lot of buyers today still, even when I started, have a hard time saving for the down payment. Now they're well qualified on paper, but they don't have much money for down payment. So with them, they qualify for a bigger mortgage. However, if you're talking about them having to pay commission to their buyer's agent, they don't really have the money. They're qualified for it on the mortgage, but they have a hard time saving up the down payment. So I think that'll be a major issue because they just don't have it. The other issue is going to be, under appraisal guidelines, market value is the highest price someone's willing to pay you, the lowest price you're willing to accept, but everybody knowing it's available and being able to compete for it. If you as a seller are going to turn around and say, I'm not paying a buyer's broker commission, a lot of them are not going to be able to look at the house. If they can't look at the house, the demand is going to go down. There's not as many people looking. The demand goes down, prices go down because market value is the most amount of people knowing about it and coming out to compete. The buyer is willing to pay what fair market value is, even higher, especially if there's a shortage of listings, and they don't give you as much problems with doing it really because they're financing the whole loan, right? So in essence, if you're a seller and I've sat down with you and we've gone over appraisal guidelines and what the appraisal range would be, it's already figured in, it's always already been figured in that your final cost, we take away all the closing costs, including commission. So the offer you're going to want to accept as a seller, no one's putting a gun to your head, you're going to accept it based on what all the expenses are in selling the home. And it's always been that way. So you're paying out the commission to both ends, seller and buyer broker, how it always was. It's really not costing you any money to keep doing it that way because you're going to get more people to look at the house to show it. You're the one, no one's putting a gun to your head, you're going to accept the final number of what you think is fair market value based on what the brokers have showed you before you listed. More than likely it's going to be in that price range when you get your offers of what you were showed on appraised value when it went up. So it's not affecting anything. So in conclusion, I think it's not a good idea. I've seen some of the articles that quote unquote the professionals, supposed professionals, are writing. Now, most of them agree with what I say. There are some that say no, have the buyer's broker pay, the buyers pay their broker. But like I said, a lot of them are not going to be able to. And it's going to cost you a fair number of showings. So I just think that if it's done the way it was done previously, people didn't really have a problem with it. It wasn't costing them any extra money because that was all figured into the closing cost when we first sat down with somebody and we were going to list it. And you're going to accept an offer that you feel comfortable with and you feel you're getting fair market value. And that's how I would look at it, and I would still keep continuing to do it that way.